Controlled Chaos with your hosts, Liz and Allie.
I'm Liz, the writer.
And I'm Allie, the publicist.
We are your quintessential 40-something besties who dive headfirst into all things pop culture.
Think motherhood, relationships, hot stories taking over your newsfeed, and of course, the latest gripping true crime mysteries.
This is Controlled Chaos, your much-needed weekly pop culture juice.
Drink up! We're super excited to be here. This is our very first episode. Liz and I have known each other for over 20 years. We started together in the PR industry, and we both just found that we had this knack of just chatting about unbelievably exciting, trendy, gossipy topics, but in a very unique, fun way.
Yes. And we kind of thought for a while that was just like we spoke our own language, but then we realized this language is it's transferable. People get it. They like it. It's funny. We dive deep into everything from mysteries and news trends to random things we see on TV to books to relationships. And we're ready to we're trying to share that with all of you.
And I call Liz Fold, by the way, and Liz calls me Fold. So if you get confused,
don't even ask why, because we don't know.
Don't ask why. We don't know why. But at the end of the day, I can't help it.
I can't either. I don't even know Allie.
I don't know who Liz is. It's not weird. I'm yelling at you. And as you can see, our humor is beginning. Okay.
See, here it is. You guys are in
What are we talking about today, Miss Vildy?
Okay, guys, we have to talk about the Golden Bachelor. This was the first of its kind. I gotta be honest with you. I used to watch The Bachelor and The Bachelorette. I was a big Bachelor Paradise fan. Then I kind of stopped for a while, just started getting too monotonous to just, same old stuff. But then they really flipped this, an older guy, older women, a widower. Like, I was so into this plot. And actually, it was Allie Bold who told me to watch it. I was on the fence about it, and then she's like, no, you need to watch it. So I ripped through it, and I got up right to the finale, and then I caught up to the day the finale came out, which was just last week?
Yes. And I think the reason it captivated me, because I've actually never really watched The Bachelor. I've maybe seen one of the 8,000 seasons that have been out in Fold. I remember you used to watch it religiously when we
all the time. And I used to comment on it. I used to do my Instagram stories commentary on it.
I remember. And for me, this was one of my first, and I found it so captivating and interesting because they're not young people and they didn't get caught up in the gossip and the obnoxious,
yes,
he said, she said, lying, cheating, stealing kind of talk. And it was very much professional, mature, but then it took a turn of feeling too mature. And then Gerry started becoming too
Gerry. Gerry.
Way. Who the fuck is named Gerry but spells it?
It's like Gerry, but not. It's very strange.
That's a red flag if I've ever heard.
I think that's a really, really interesting point you make about the drama, because sometimes I think The Bachelor got too far into making someone a villain, making something catty. They made characters, right? And I guess the only example of that was Teresa's the one who won.
Leslie?
That one lady, no, gosh. The one they had a little beef, remember, for a minute, and then she said to zip
I don't
it.
remember her name. Yep.
I don't either. That's ridiculous. But anyway, that was the only drama. But I agree with you that it was sort of refreshing not to get caught up in all of that, But she got dropped because of that. When she told Teresa to zip it, that was her last episode.
I remember the zip it. That's right. She said zip it. That's right. Was she the pickleball one?
She won the pickleball her teammate was a captain of the pickleball team. So she looked out. Of course. I can't believe I don't remember her name, but she had a little cattiness, but even that,
that was nothing.
It was nothing compared to what it usually is. It got too much, but I'm with you also that was this too mature, and was Gerry too he was so nice, but there's something to me that's looming underneath those eyes. We've said that there's
right.
There's a darkness beneath those. There's something there. He's too nice, too surfacey is what I almost would say. And now things are coming out about him.
So lo and behold, right, the season ends. And of course, that's when all the stuff comes out. They're doing all their rounds of interviews on all the TV shows, right? And all of a sudden, of course, a woman from Gerry's past.
We should call him Gerry. Yeah.
Gerry. A woman from Gerry's past named Caroline, I think, which, by the way, in this day and age with the internet sleuths that are out there, I mean, how do we not know who pooped on the Delta flight still? How do we not know who this Caroline woman is?
I don't know that. I mean, with the internet and phones, I don't
Right? I
understand
mean,
it.
they're solving
Yes.
like some of the most like world's unbelievable crimes. Remember Gabby Petito and all the sleuths that came out for
Oh, we
that?
have so much to get in with that.
So
Well,
much on
next
that.
another
That's
episode.
another
That
episode.
that's not. You guys should know, listeners, that Gabby Petito is sort of what
Yes.
started it all. We were like in a
Yes.
group chat about that for weeks. But
Yes.
anyway, continue.
Because it boggles our mind. We want to
Yeah.
understand how people act this way. So back to Gerry. Okay, it's not like someone just coming out and saying, Gerry lied on TV. Okay, yes, he did lie, right? He apparently he did an interview actually with The View before the show came out, where he talks about how he wonders if he'll ever be happy again and ever find love again. But in reality, I read an article online the other day, Fold, that he was on a vacation with a woman when the
Yes, I read that.
called him.
I read that too. And not that I fault the guy for dating a little bit, after that totally makes sense after he loses his wife, especially
Lying.
there's statistics that show that like when you're in a long companionship like that, you even more so need to find something else. But why the secrets about it? Why, like, is he?
Secret.
It kind of reminds me, and like again, I'm not going to get off topic, but it reminds me because I just finished the Britney book, which I'd love to talk about too. How she
Ooh,
played up like her virginity for a while, like oh that was played up, but like why? She even talks about that in her book. It's same with Gerry. It's like you don't. He's trying to come off very innocent and very like there's nothing wrong with you dating after your wife died. But
no.
why did you keep that in? Why was there such a like a gag order on that?
And not
Why
just
couldn't you
keep
have
it
said it?
in, but blatantly say on TV, I have not kissed another woman. I have not gone on another date. I have
He
not.
he used it to like in a way bond with these women
Yes.
almost. You know what I
And
mean? To like lure them in.
I think what's even worse for me is it's not just that she came out and said he's lying, it's what she said. And I'm going to read the transcript right here. She said that he would make her pay for dinner dates, but that when he wanted to go out to dinner with her, he wanted to look like a big man. So he would pay the whole tab at the restaurant, but he'd ask her for money. That he asked her to pay $850 a month while living together and to pay toward every bill. That he also commented on her physical appearance after she gained 10 pounds and didn't want her to go to his high school reunion. This is a guy that was on the Golden Bachelor saying he doesn't connect with the younger women and he wants an older woman and he's so not shallow and
Totally.
he's so not surface. But the worst and most alarming claim was that she said he had a Jekyll and Hyde personality and it showed a different side of him and that he was 14 years older than her. So these are not just like, oh, I had a girlfriend,
I agree with you. I know people come out of the woodwork, but I agree with everything that woman's saying. There's such a darkness behind his eyes, and you bring up a really good segue. Let's talk about the ending because he was all about Leslie. Okay. Leslie and him had a great time in the fantasy bang suite. I mean, that's really what it is. Like,
Yep.
that's just how strange that is. It's basically
It is.
like at the very end, you have sex with both these women back to back, and like
Very polygamous
you can
in general, right? Like you're dating all these
it's super
women and you
it's
have to
super
accept
weird.
it.
Like
I know.
and like as a longtime bachelor
How do you get
watcher,
over that?
it's usually with 4 women, okay? You have, like,
Oof.
4 women in the fantasy bang suites, and you just, like, "Okay, who do I have the best sex with?" And that person wins. But you could tell, like, Leslie got him. Like, I mean, she's, like, this striptease dancer. I'm sure they had an amazing time in there. And he was all about her, and then Teresa comes along with her big paying job, and whoop, and I'm telling you, it's everything you're saying with, like, the money and all this stuff, and
Something's weird there.
he saw dollar signs. He saw dollar signs. She better get a prenup. I mean, I'm just
They're
saying,
getting
like,
married
I
in
think
January, right?
on TV they're doing, and you know what? I never trust that either. When they want to do like
No.
because he's probably, I mean, he's getting paid for that. They're getting paid for that, obviously, a lot. They're doing their wedding live, bachelor, whatever.
Well,
And
as a veteran in the Bachelor world, how because I haven't kept I just remember that one with Trista and Ryan or something.
they're
And
still together. They're
right.
one of like they're like, and they did a TV. They are like the anomaly. Okay, they did a TV
Okay.
wedding. They did, and it was amazing. And they've been married for like, I mean, I want to say like 15 years. They're like, she was the first bachelorette ever,
I remember.
and
And they were
they're
so wholesome and sweet and
and they're still together. They've got
right.
kids. They seem actually genuinely happy. But I have like this theory. Usually, they when you do like these live it's just like what happened to Nick and Jessica on the Newlyweds. Side note, that was such a good show. Like, but when you do a show and you kick off like that, it usually goes the other way, except for Tristan and Ryan. So with this, but this goes to your point, Fold. He wants the big C. He wants the big restaurant. Right? He wants the big tab. He wants the big broadcast wedding. He wants Teresa's money. That's my feeling on him. I don't.
But why does he want her money? Because he said in an interview also that his restaurant career, even though it wasn't all like, cool and showy how they made it sound like he was flipping burgers at the end of the day, but he said it was very lucrative and that he was able to buy a house and on the
What's
water.
he gonna say? It's like, my
Like he do
business
very well,
sucks.
I
I
guess.
mean, I don't know. I mean, you
True.
might be
I mean,
right.
that's a good point. Why would you
He
not
might
say
be doing
that?
fine. I'm not saying the guy's like, if dead or anything like that, but I just had this feel like he did such, and like, don't get me wrong, The Bachelor does a really good job. They're pros. I mean, it's reality TV, but it's also kind of not. They show you like they lead you one way to
Right.
flip it. Right. So we don't really know if him and Teresa had this amazing time in the fantasy bang suite, but they really made it seem like him and Leslie. And you saw in his face, it was like, and she was right. When she lost it that time in the hotel room, everything she said was right. Like he was just like, "It's you, I love you," like, and
So
then whoop.
I want to quote this actually, because she actually went on a podcast. I think it was just a couple of days ago. And word for word, she said, and you could feel the phoniness here. She said, he made plans with me for the future. He said, save the date. This is what we're going to do. I can't wait for us. In 2 more days, we'll be done with this and be together and start our life. Did he say,
I
will you marry me? No. But he all but said that. And I would have just been happy with an I love you. But he took it to a different level.
That's what I'm saying. I believe it. I believe that. He seems a little two-faced to me. I don't buy the kind, sweet widower act because of the lying he did about his dating. Because of I don't. There's a darkness behind those eyes, behind those baby blue eyes.
But
He's a
so
very good looking older man.
might we call him a narcissist? And I say this because I found this really gross when Katie Couric and others have questioned him about this now past that has come out in this expose that was written by, I think, the New Yorker, right? He said, I guess I would say this. I dated a number of women, so then it becomes an issue of how you define if you're in a relationship or not. I guess, like any guy, I had a number of dates and it was one or two. He then added, it really didn't matter about the long-term relationship that lasted a couple years. I want to focus on what's going on now. Like,
Yeah,
how rude is that to a woman that you dated for 2 or 3? Like, what kind of
yeah.
person, a normal non-narcissistic person that truly has empathy would be like, listen, we've all done things in the past. We've all said things. I really, really feel bad if I've hurt anybody's feelings.
Yes.
You at least call out this
I was
person,
new to
right?
dating. I hadn't dated since I was like a kid. I just, I'm still new. That
Out
would
of
have
high
made
school,
total
married,
sense.
right. It's
Yes.
weird. Someone else also commented too that like almost, and I don't know what's real, right? We don't know what claims are real and not real yet for the most part, other than this woman that came out. And also, why would she come out and say these things if they're not real? Like she's not even saying
I
her name.
know.
She's
She's
not
got
getting
nothing
anything
to
out of
gain
it,
from it. And, a
right?
lot of people do that. And I'm always just like, yeah, right. But this time I agree with you. I'm like, why would she? Like, what? Why?
Well, I have the same thought process too with things like, and this is just totally, and this is how you and I operate, right? But like the Michael Jackson stuff, for instance, why would those two men that were in that HBO doc come out of that and lie? What would they be gaining about talking about such horrific acts that they endured during their childhood and adulthood?
But they
People
were
feel like
suing his
they're
estate.
lying for fame. What?
They are suing. I think they at least Wade Robson, wasn't he suing the estate? I mean, some of that. I'm not. First of all, let me just be clear that I do think that happened.
Oh,
But I have like,
not even a question.
yeah, not a question. I'm not doubting that at all. I just
Yeah.
mean that like they're also suing the estate, so like that's sort of what they have to gain as far as like. But I don't think any of that's a lie at all.
And
But
the amount of money and time that would be spent to sue the estate, it's not like he's just going to get money overnight.
oh
So
no,
that's
that's going to take forever. I mean, everything's
yeah.
tied up. But like,
So that it's what do
yes.
these people have to gain? What is this Carolyn
I don't think Carolyn has anything to gain, and I think everything she's saying in my mind lines up with what I think about it. I mean, I
story?
don't know. I know it's all objective, but I agree with her. I see it. I feel it.
I know.
He's just got some stuff.
So let's kind of wrap this up with two notes. One is, do we feel that this is good press or bad press for the Golden Bachelor? And is this something that could then make people excited for another season or be kind of grossed out?
I don't know if this is going to be something they can continue. I think this was a novelty item. I think it was a good one. I think they needed to turn the franchise around a bit. I mean, it was just getting the same old guy, same old situation. It was very. I stopped watching it. It was getting boring.
And it's still
Boring.
going, right? I mean, they
Yeah,
teased the
they have a
next
new season.
Bachelor,
Yes, they have
right?
a new season coming up. It was just getting super boring and the same, redundant. But I think I don't know if this is going to keep going. You know what I mean? This seems like to me like a one-off, but I could be wrong. I mean,
About the
or if
notion
they
of
do that, they're going to keep going and do like an old person version of Bachelor in Paradise because that would be pretty funny.
wait, so
I
what
mean,
is Bachelor Paradise? What's the difference?
Bachelor in Paradise is the best. That one's my favorite. It's when they take all old contestants from like, seasons, all seasons, and they put them
Oh,
all together on a beach in Mexico. And it's just like hookups and dramas galore. But some long lasting relationships have formed. I mean, you don't know who these people are, but Kaylin Miller Keys and Dean, they met there. He dumped her on the show. They got back together. They're married now. Like, it's kind of, I like the way it's set up better. It's like you basically put all these attractive people together and they just kind of see what matches. There's no like date. I mean, there's dates, you go on dates, but it's just like a mishmash and it's just way more fun. It's the best. Should give it a shot.
I'm going to give it a shot. And I also want to know what you think. Do you think there's going to be a Golden Bachelorette? And Leslie is in talks potentially, right?
Oh, you know what?
Quite some redemption.
I could totally see them doing that. A Golden Bachelorette with Leslie. That would be smart. That'd be smart. She'd be good at it too. And I think they should do that.
So much shit about Gerry.
Gary.
Gary, I'm in love with you, Gary.
Gerry. Gary. I think they will do that. I think they absolutely. That's a great thought, and it's going to happen. She's going to be the Bachelorette, Golden Bachelorette for sure. They have to do they kind of have to do a Golden Bachelorette. They can't just do one. Yeah.
Yeah, it feels wrong to just do one side.
It feels wrong, but then that might be it for that.
Yeah, and then I was thinking too, like, because I know in the Golden Bachelor they had all the women bunking together in rooms. How do they do that with the men in general? Do they bunk together in rooms?
The men in the Bachelor? Oh, yeah, they're all like roommates and stuff. They just put them in like these
like when they're in their 70s, the men are gonna do that?
Oh.
Because the women didn't seem to mind, but
that's right. The old men.
Weird. Do they see each other's old junk?
Probably. I mean, guys love that.
About, like, geriatric problems?
Like, get their old peepees out and just wave them around, flip them about.
Little sword fights? Can they still pee, or do they have incontinence? Oh God,
peepees everywhere. I mean, they're gonna share rooms and just have an old man pee war, and they're all gonna have like their Viagra. I mean, come on, it's gonna happen.
Okay. Did Gerry not have the fakest teeth you've ever seen?
Very veneer. Very, yes.
And people are commenting about like his ears were pinned back and his fake tan, and I'm like,
yeah, like he's attractive, but he definitely like had some fakeness to it.
I was fooled in the beginning. I remember messaging you going, "This man is amazing," and then like after a few episodes, I'm like, "Wait a second,
he seemed there's something unnatural about it. I couldn't put my finger on it. Just something about him near the end where I'm like,
where's gonna come out? I have a feeling
you don't seem like you're really getting to the core of who you are. Like, I don't know. I don't feel like I don't even know who this guy is still.
I know, but I did kind of find it endearing that he had these like 2 daughters and 2 granddaughters, and they're all like surrounding him with love, and that made me be like, oh, he is a good guy. So listen, we're all about.
Might be.
It's okay to.
I don't think he's like a psychopath. I just think there's more there than meets the eye. There's more there than meets the eye.
Deception, and that's that narcissistic side that comes out, right, where you're just like, really, maybe he's completely unaware of what he's doing and thinks it's normal. And then Teresa really thinks about all of this.
I would love to know what she thinks about it. I mean, I feel like she's probably just like whatever, but I don't know. I mean, maybe it's just shaking her up a little bit, especially the money stuff.
She doesn't even know him.
I mean, she doesn't. That's the thing.
That's the
thing.
They don't.
You marry someone you know in 6 weeks. Let's just get to the core of that. I mean, it's not exactly common.
And you're dating the love of my life and things like that. And it's like,
yes, and you're dating multiple people at one time. It's fractions of these working out are very low. Agreed. You know, and even when you're older, you think you'd have like things move faster, I'm sure, but it's still fast. 6 weeks. I'm very curious to see what's going to happen with them.
Yeah, I'm very curious to see if it lasts. And you know what? Maybe when you're older and it's companionship, it's a little bit easier to mitigate.
That's what I mean. They both have had these long relationships. They're just looking for someone to have some fun with. They're in their golden years. I don't think you need the same things you need when you're like marrying someone in your 30s. You know, they're not looking to have kids.
I also
they have their families.
Planning to move to Charleston. Did you see that?
No, they are.
That they want to move to Charleston. I'm assuming South Carolina, which I think is actually kind of cute.
That'd be lovely. What a lovely place to retire on Teresa's dime.
Right? And on that note, it's been a pleasure. This was our very first episode. We thank you for listening at whatever daytime, whatever you're doing, jogging, grocery shopping, feeding your baby.
Put us on while you're running your errands. That's what we do. So
thank you guys so much, and we'll talk to you soon.